Hey, good afternoon. It's Ralph Mendez. We're going to work on chapter 14, talking about manufacturing. So, number one, the total manufacturing is computed as, well, what are manufacturing costs? They refer to the big three as materials, direct labor, factory overhead. Direct materials, direct labor, factory overhead. So let's kind of fill in our outline. Direct materials used in production, direct labor used in production, and then factory overhead used in production. Those are considered the big three. Anything else? That should be it. Let's see. Let's try it now. What are our direct materials used? 64,250. What about our direct labor used? 17,600. How about our factory overhead used in production? Well, now you're going to have to go check. Is the factory supervisor's salary? So what are the factory overhead? Well, here's a nice list of factory overhead costs. Production supervisors, quality assurance people, materials management people, the factory rent, the factory utilities, the factory building insurance, fringe benefits, the factory depreciation, equipment setup, equipment maintenance. So insurance, property taxes, all these are factory overhead, and they're more indirect. So these are things that are indirectly involved in the manufacturing. So we're going to include the 10,800 there, plus salesperson, no. Depreciation factory, yes. Depreciation delivery, no. Indirect materials, yes. So not everything is going to fit in there. So it's primarily indirect materials, indirect labor, anything you cannot directly, a material you cannot directly trace or a labor you can't directly trace, is we talked about right here: production, quality, materials, rent, utilities, insurance, fringe benefits, depreciation on the warehouse, factory tools, insurance, property taxes. Those. All right. So let's see how we did. Okay, very good. Let's try number two. The cost of goods. Here's the cost of goods sold. The cost of the goods sold. Well, what are the cost of the goods sold? Well, it's the cost of the ingredients of a hamburger, right? Those are the cost of the goods. How much did it cost the bun, the meat, the onions, tomatoes, lettuce, mayonnaise, mustard? So it's the cost. What does it cost to make a truck? Tires, wheels, steel, stamping, So these are the costs. What are the costs of the goods that you sold? That's what the manufacturing costs are. Three costs: direct materials, direct labor, manufacturing overhead. So now in this problem, they want to know the cost of goods sold. So of your cost, how much did it cost to what you sold? So how many of these things did you have? Let's just say you're selling trucks. How many trucks did you have in beginning inventory? How much did you manufacture? And this, you add the beginning plus how many more you made. So let's say you had one truck and you make two trucks. So now you got three trucks. And then you subtract how many you have at the end, okay? So now what's our beginning finished goods inventory? At the beginning, we had $740 tied up. Then we spent $6,040 making more. So we got $6,780 available, but you don't sell all of them. I mean, you go by these car dealers and there's always cars on the lot, minus the ending inventory. Let's see if I have to minus that. So it did it for us. How much finished goods do you have right now? How many trucks you have ready to sell? Add all the manufacturing costs, which are materials, labor, overhead, minus what you still have left that you haven't sold at the end of the period. I'm trying to think if I could show you another image, but okay. All right, y'all should be able to do this one. What is your, again, here's the cost of the one sold. And now here, you're going to take finished goods beginning plus work in process beginning plus manufacturing costs minus work in process ending minus the ending cost of goods. So again, same thing as number 2, cost of goods sold. What do they want here? Cost of goods sold. All right. All right. Let's try number 4. Let's see here. Finished goods beginning. And how many vehicles we have, how much manufacturing do we have, total available less what you have at the end. Okay, let's try number 4. Cost of goods manufactured. This is the big 3. What are the big 3? Materials, labor, and overhead. So we're going to put materials, labor, overhead. Those are your big 3. And there are the big costs, materials, labor, overhead. And you see, you transfer out to finished goods what you finish, but if you haven't finished them, they stay here to work on next month. And let's just show you, here's the case of D.R. Horton. You see, here's the inventory. Homes, construction in progress, and finished homes, residential land and lots. Some are developing, some undeveloped. Raw land, land held for development. So this is more complicated than Walmart that has all finished goods. Now we got houses under construction, and we have finished houses, and we have lots that are being developed, already ready to build a house, and some we're not ready to put the house, and some land for the future, and some land for sale. So it's much more complicated when you're a manufacturing company. And yet, why would that be of interest to you? The typical North American Toyota manufacturer is $20. Assembly line workers' salary can range from $13 to $28, April 1st, 2021. Okay. And just recently, well, we'll come back to that. So materials, labor, overhead, materials, and they give us the labor and the factory overhead costs. So all these costs add up to our total manufacturing costs. Well, there they are. It's already there. Total man. It already did it for me. Sorry. Now, but you had some stuff at the beginning that you're already working on. And then you got to subtract the things you're working on at the end. So you have to add what your work in process at the beginning, and you need to subtract what you have not finished. Houses not finished, okay? Right, let me see if I can find D.R. Horton. So right here, houses. So here you got construction in progress. The houses aren't finished, and these are homes ready to sell, but these are not ready to sell. So same thing here. Hey, here's what we spent this month building all these houses. Plus, we had these from last month we hadn't finished. So we got 400,000. We still got 142,000 on homes we haven't finished. Okay. All right. Let's try number 5. They want the cost of materials. Well, think about it. If you had so much sugar and you buy more sugar, well, how much do you use? Well, you got to subtract what you have left at the end of the period. So how much materials did you have at the beginning? How much did you buy? That's what you have. Minus what you have at the end. Should tell you what you used. So what did you have at the beginning? How much did you buy? Oh, we had some sugar. We bought more sugar. So we got, 1,000 pounds of sugar. Well, how much you'll have left? Well, 200. Well, then you used 800. So there you go. There's your information. Y'all work solve that one. Balance sheet. Balance sheet identification. Which company is a manufacturer? Company 1 has no materials inventory. All it has is inventory that sells, like Walmart. And this one has raw material inventory, goods being worked on, goods being finished. So number 2 is a manufacturer. Okay. Number 1 is a merchandiser, like Walmart. The cost of goods, they're already ready. Now, what do they want to know next? They want to know the balance sheet. So in this case, the balance sheet of what? For company 1. Okay, that's the one that's, so you have cash and the other company's cash. They want you to show the difference. Do they both have receivables? So this one has merchandise inventory. See? Do they have receivables? No, they were not receivables. But this one has raw materials. It's not merchandise inventory. It's raw materials. So, and this one just has merchandise inventory. And this one has, so it does show accounts receivable here. Where'd you go? Accounts receivable and prepaids. Well, what's the difference? This one has raw materials, plus it has work in process inventory, plus what else? Finished goods inventory, plus the receivables, and plus the prepaids. And that's exactly what we saw over here on DR Horton. They have more things than just merchant. Walmart just has inventory. But no, if you're in construction or building or manufacturing, homes underway, finished homes, lots underway, lots under development, land for future, not developed at all, land to sell, it's not going to work for us. So you have much more inventory and things under that kind of a manufacturing company. All right, so y'all put in the numbers. All right, number 7. All right, so direct materials, and it ones are direct labor. So again, now this is the big one. So what do you have? Let's break it in pieces. Materials, labor, this is going to be our labor, and our overhead. So how much materials do you have? How do you figure out your materials? Well, how much materials do you have at the beginning? Where's my beginning raw materials? Beginning raw materials plus what you buy equals what's available minus what you have at the end. Less the raw materials. Where's that ending? Less ending. There you go. And then the labor. Let's see. Do they give me? All right. Labor. And then now what about overhead? What are the overhead items? We're going to have to check the overhead items. Let's see. Well, I'm going to go up here and look. Work in process. Utilities. Factory utilities are one. Factory supplies indirect. Yes. General administrative. No. Indirect labor. Yes. Repairs. Yes. Selling. No. Sales. No. Okay. So we got quite a few here we got to include here on your factory overhead. So let's see, we'll go down now. What's the first one we come to? Factory supplies used. Factory utilities. Rental. I'm just going down the line and ask myself, repairs. How about any other thing here? Yeah, there it is, indirect labor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this adds up to total manufacturing. Now, what do you do with all your manufacturing costs? Well, you have to add what you still had worked on from last month, add beginning work in process. There you go. Equals your total money you have tied up now. You had this much tied up last month. Now you spend all this additional money, less what you have at the ending work in. No, it's not an add, it's a less the ending work in process. Where are you at? Less ending. There we go. Less the ending work in process. So you're going to have to, let's say, Garcon, what's your beginning inventory? So now you're going to have to go and find these things. Beginning inventory, beginning raw materials inventory. See, 10,200. Well, how much did you buy? Raw materials, they got to purchase. Raw materials purchased, 39,000. So now you got 49 available. What do you have left? Ending raw materials is 7,200. Let's see if it subtracts it. It did, 42. And now our direct labor, it just gave us the direct labor, 23,600. Now remember, the indirect labor goes down here. How about factory supplies? Okay, factory supplies used. Does it give us that? Beginning work, this direct materials. Factory utilities, 12,450. So you're just going to have to go one at a time and find these things. Indirect labor, 1,500. Okay, repairs, accounts receivable, factory equipment, cash selling, raw materials. Repairs, there it is, 6,380. So, all right, how about rental? Rental. Do I have something like that? Repairs, indirect labor. There it is, factory supplies used, 10,600. And rental cost, I don't see rental. Yeah, there it is, 34,500. Now, I think, oh, did I miss one? 1, 2. How about utilities? I got utilities? Yeah, I got them. There it is. So you add all that up, so materials. So we're going to 23,600 plus this. You're going to have to add all these up. Total factory overhead. Oh, total manufacturing. So now you're going to have to add all that up. Let's see, is it 42 direct materials used? Is 42 plus the 23,600 plus 65,430. So the sum of those three are 131,030. And add the beginning work in process way at the top. Beginning work in process, 15,200. 146, less what you still have left in finished goods at the end. Beginning, and ending finished goods, 17,450. So the cost of our goods manufacturing, I'm sorry, that's not finished goods, work in process. Beginning work in process, 15,200. Ending work in process, 23,500. So let's just check our work, see how we did. Oh, I got lucky talking and try to enter and all that. Now in requirement 2, it wants you to calculate the cost of the goods for both companies. How do you get cost of goods? Well, how do you get cost of goods? Well, finished goods, right? What do you have? Finished goods. Finished goods, beginning finished goods, plus your cost of goods manufactured. So there's your total, less your ending finished goods, right? So there you go. All right, now where's 8? I thought 8 was in here too. All right. There you go. And less, oh, see, I put add, it's supposed to be less. And I said less, but I just didn't find it right. So this is less the finished goods at the end of the period. All right. Then we got to move, let's try number 8. They want an income statement for both of them. Well, how do you make an income statement? Sales minus what? Sales minus the cost of goods is equal to gross profit. And then under operating expenses, what do you have? Okay. Oh, general administrative, and you'll have some selling or something, right? Any selling? Yeah, selling expenses. So there you go. You're going to figure out income statement for them, and what else they want. Oh, a balance sheet. Well, what's on the balance sheet? So, balance sheet. Oh, well, they gave us cash. Yeah, down here at the bottom, we have some balance sheet items. Cash. Start off with cash. Then you're going to have accounts receivable. And then now in your inventory, remember, you got how many different kinds of inventory you have? Raw materials, and then the ones you're working on, and then the ones that are finished. So you got 3 types of inventory, just raw materials like lumber, houses that are halfway built, and houses that are completely built. And that'll be your total current assets section. All right, very good. I hope this helped y'all with chapter 14. And thank you and good afternoon. Oh, before I end though, I just want to make sure I've talked about all these issues up here. Talked about all the different factory overhead costs. These are the cost of the goods. What does it cost this company? What does it cost to make a truck? The big 3 in manufacturing are materials, labor, overhead. What is the cost of goods manufactured? The cost of goods manufactured, also called cost of goods completed, calculates the total value of inventory that was produced during the period and is ready for sale. In other words, this is the total amount of cost expenses incurred to turn work in process, taking lumber and materials and all that into a house or a beer or something to sell. And here we looked here, and it's much more complicated when you're a manufacturer or building homes. And look at this. This is finished beer. It's in these bins. And so what ingredients go in beer? Water, hops, and barley, and corn, and sugar. So, that's what we're after here. What does it cost to make or manufacture? There's the kitchen back there. And now, here's just one thing I want to say to you. This article is from March 2nd, 2021. There's a troubling talent gap when in the same week that 900,000 Americans filed for unemployment, manufacturing executives themselves were forced to fill in on factory floors, as the Wall Street Journal reported. Manufacturers have been trying to solve this problem for 20 years, offering any number of solutions. I've written about several, including the one I think has the most promise. Form multi-layered collaborations to build strong talent pipelines and provide workers with the support, training, transportation, childcare, and otherwise they need to do their jobs. So I just want you to know that people, let's just say it costs people in manufacturing earn more money. All right. But how do you help them? Well, we're not doing a good job of training our workforce. So anyway, I hope this helped you and you have a great day. All right. So we got to end.